Hi everybody, it's Pumpkin Bread ASMR, also known as Nicole, and welcome to my ASMR channel. So I'm going to be doing a soft-spoken chit-chat ASMR video. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about in this, but I figured it'd be okay. I'm pretty good, y'all will forgive me. But something I'm just gonna jump right in. I'm gonna be talking about baths. I took a bath for the first time in probably forever last night. I don't know if that's TMI, but y'all, you gotta take more baths because that was so freaking relaxing. It's actually insane. Like, I still feel zen today. I still feel zen. Like, and it wasn't even that long. Like, I had showered earlier in the day and then just like tied my hair up and did it. Like, I didn't even wasn't like going in to, bathe legit. But literally, y'all, take a bath. Like, I took one, like he said, last night, and I'm still feeling zen and relaxed. It's insane. But yeah, and I'm so hype. My boyfriend's out right now shopping for Christmas gifts, but when he gets back, we're gonna go grocery shopping to Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. I do. I love Trader Joe's. I don't know why. There is just something about Trader Joe's that I love. And for Sunday night dinner, I want to do something like fun. So I think I'm gonna we'll probably also have to stop at Acme because Trader Joe's doesn't have anything. That's the one thing with Trader Joe's. Like, usually I can do all of my weekly shopping at TJ's, but sometimes, like what I'm about to say, I do need to go to a different grocery store to actually get stuff. But I'm going to go to Trader Joe's, pick up some stuff, and then Acme. But I'm going to make a homemade Caesar salad, and then I'm gonna make crispy chicken, like chicken cutlet, and then put some vodka. I don't make homemade vodka sauce to put on it. And I'm so excited. Like, also, guys, I don't want you to think that my boyfriend doesn't cook or something. I just love cooking. I love it. It's fun to me. So, I don't know. That seems a little ambitious because I'm like, there's a lot. But I feel like it's not that hard. Like, if you know how to cook. Not like if you know how to cook because I'm really not a pro. But I feel like if you have cooked before and you kind of like know how to like manage multiple dishes, like, it can't be that hard. Like, the Caesar salad dressing is just like a bunch of stuff that you mix in a bowl, so I feel like the only like cooking is the sauce and the chicken cutlet. But the one thing with the sauce that I see so many people do is that it's like a ton of heavy cream or heavy whipping cream, and I just feel like that's too much, girl. Like, you're waiting for a stomachache to happen, and that's the last thing I want after eating. So I feel like I'm just gonna do it with, like, I think what I've seen is fresh garlic, onion, I feel like something else is in there, and like tomato paste, and then you put in like a tomato sauce, and then obviously the vodka, it's like a shot, it's really not that much, and then, or no, I think it's actually more than that, I don't know, I'll make it properly later. And then you put in like a little bit of heavy whipping cream later, because so many people make it with like the onions, garlic, and then the vodka, but then they just like put a ton of heavy cream in it, and I'm like, I feel like that just wouldn't taste that good. And I've heard people actually say it's a lot better without so much heavy cream. So I don't know, like, one time I did actually make homemade Alfredo sauce, and I did make it like that, where it's a lot of heavy cream, and it was like really good, but like, I don't know, it kind of like hurt my stomach after because it's just a lot of cream. And I feel like isn't it like most people have some bit of, also that's not a hole in my shirt, it's for your thumb, have some bit of lactose intolerance? I don't know, maybe I'm making that up. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, I don't know, but I'm so hype. I made crispy chicken or like a chicken cutlet like once. What did I do? I think it was when I was making the Alfredo, because like there's one thing about me, I love a chicken Alfredo. My one thing is I love when it's crispy chicken, because like girl, if I'm gonna eat chicken Alfredo, I'm gonna eat like that much. Okay, not to talk about calories, but like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it all out. I'm gonna do it all out. I'm gonna treat myself. I'm gonna freaking treat myself. And I'm making it, and it's so good. And honestly, making crispy chicken, it's not that hard. You do need a lot of oil, but it wasn't as much as I thought that you would need. You know, like I thought you would need like a freaking vat of oil and you need to like dip it in it, but like you really don't. Like you really just need it so it covers like one side at a time, because obviously the oil is what makes it crispy, and like the flour and the breading and stuff. But I don't know. Sorry if you're hungry right now, but I am. So I'm dreaming of this chicken, low key. Not even gonna lie. But yeah, I don't know. I've also been filming for a while, so I'm also just like, I don't know. I really know what to talk about. I've been talking so much for the past like hour and a half. I got new mic covers because I noticed in some of the videos I was making, my like noises were making a lot of like popping noises, and I was able to kind of edit them out. But I'd rather keep the sound as true as it was, or like as I'm filming it. I've heard that this cover helps with that. And then this is obviously like a wind sleeve or whatever it's called, so it's been kind of fun to like rub on like when it's on the mic. But I don't know, I'm like somewhat familiar with content creation and video creation. In high school I did our like morning broadcast news whatever for like my high school, and we had to create like news packages for that. I also created a bunch of short films through like a youth program in a couple towns over from where I lived, and so I made a couple short films with like actual film equipment. Like one of the guy who taught it was actually like a professor at a university nearby, so we were able to use the university's equipment, and that definitely taught me a lot about editing. Like I'll be watching shows now and I will notice like Seinfeld was so bad with this. Like when Kramer or whoever like busts through the apartment, like some shots will have the door closed and then it'll go back to that shot and then the door's like wide open, so you clearly know it's like cut between multiple different takes. But I'll even notice like the tiniest things. Like I'm watching Gilmore Girls and they'll have like a little bit of hair over their shoulder, and then they'll do an over the shoulder shot and there's a ton of hair on their back, and then they go back to the front shot or like the over the shoulder shot of the other person, and then like they'll have like a ton of hair in the front. And I just like noticed those little discrepancies. So I feel like it actually has low-key, okay, it's like a joke, but when I first started all those things, it was always a joke, like, oh, like this is gonna ruin movies for you, and it hasn't like ruined them. Like it doesn't take it away. It honestly just like adds to the experience of watching a movie. But it definitely is like something I notice. But the interesting thing though is like, I mean, on something like a Gilmore Girls or a Seinfeld, it really doesn't matter. Like it's supposed to be funny, it's not supposed to be, you know, this whole thing. I think if it was like a movie, I see them less in movies for sure. I definitely see them more on TV shows. I mean, sometimes in movies, but it really just depends. It's usually like movies is usually like the tiniest details that I'm like, I don't even know how I picked up on that, you know. But I'm like 99% sure it's a script supervisor that helps make sure the continuity in a script, you know. It's usually with like actors and placements and like where physical props are. But yeah, like it's so higher budget movies and shows honestly will have a script supervisor, so that's why you'll see less of them in higher budget films versus in maybe something like Gilmore Girls, and I'm sure had a decent budget, but they might not be budgeting for a script supervisor because you're not watching that for, you know, like you're not watching Gilmore Girls for the like the movie buffs, you know, or like TV show buffs, and like cinephiles aren't watching Gilmore Girls and being like, critiquing it like that. Like, you kind of watch it more for like the aesthetic, the outfits, the set design, not is Rory's hair over her shoulder, one shoulder, and then it's over the other in the next shot. But honestly, I probably notice those things like every time I watch something, like if they have it, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I probably watch, like, I notice that quite often with things. My boyfriend will always be like, how, and he's like, he would be like a movie buff, you know, and he's always like, how do you pick up on that? Like, truly, like, I wouldn't have even noticed that. And it's literally when you're, and I haven't created stuff like that in so long. I did it in college a little bit. I was a journalism major, but I wasn't like making films, you know. I did help with one film, but I was just like the social media person for it in college, and that was my passion project, you know. Like, I didn't put that on a resume, I just did it for fun, you know. But what was I saying? I don't know. So I did that a lot in high school. In high school, I made, I think, like 5 or 6 short films over from sophomore year to senior year, and then did a good amount of news packages and stuff for the local for our school broadcast, like news broadcast. And even just that small of experience, like, has like truly changed the way that I view it. And it's crazy because it makes me wonder, like, people who actually studied that stuff in college, like, how much do they notice, you know, outside of that. But yeah, it's so cool to me. And I'll even setting it up for this, for my ASMR channel, the way that I like talk about it, my boyfriend was like, girl, you're talking like this is like a full-fledged movie, you know. I forget what I was talking about. I think I was talking about my AV setup. But that wasn't like audiovisual, if you don't know what that means. But I can tell you, you're propped up on a box right now on a little tripod from Target with a Blue Yeti mic. This is my pride and joy. But I was having so much difficulty like getting this to my phone, and I think that's what I was talking about, because I needed like an adapter, basically, because a Blue Yeti has an HDMI port, and then so you need that to go into your phone. And the first time I had done it, I didn't have it. I bought just a microphone, and Best Buy didn't have the proper AV link that I needed, because I needed a lightning cord, but they only had USB, what is it? C, I think, is that new one for Apple. And then so I bought that one with an adapter, and then it didn't work through my phone. So then I was like, ugh. So then I was doing it through my laptop, because I have an adapter through USB-C to HDMI or HDMI for my laptop. I'm probably losing it here, I'm sorry. But so I did it through my laptop, and I recorded through like Movie Preview or whatever it's called, and then recorded on here, and I did the clap thing, and I was trying to sync the sound. And when I was editing it in iMovie, it like wasn't like, it was syncing in the beginning, but then like later in the video my voice was just like so off, and I was like, that's not how that works, you know. Like, if I sync the sounds, basically, for people who might not know, you know those like movie things where it's like take one scene, blah, 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 and then you clap it. So the point of that is actually because when you have an external microphone that's not hooked to your camera, so usually movies and TV shows are shot with a boom, and then there's a zoom, which is like this little rectangular thing that has usually like an SD card in it, and those are connected, and you will start recording on the zoom, right? And then the boom is, you know, what captures the sound, and then there's the camera, which might be across the room, you know, capturing the video. And sometimes the camera will also be recording the audio. It doesn't have to be to sync the sound, but sometimes it is easier. So then when you're in post, which is like when you're editing, like post filming, when you're in post, you will then sync the sound. So the reason that you clap is because it causes a big jump in the I don't know what it's called, but in like the visual part of the sound. So like when you're editing sound, you'll see the spikes in the sound, and then when you clap, you can sync that the peak of that. So you literally don't even need to hear it. I mean, you should, but you can sync the peak with your hands touching, because that'll be the loudest part of the clap, and then it will sync the sound, right? I'm definitely not explaining this well. I'm not a teacher. If you would like a video on it, I'm more than happy to show you guys what I mean. But I don't even remember what the point of me talking about all this was. Oh, so I did that, right? And obviously if I didn't sync the sound correctly, it would be consistently delayed throughout. So I'd be saying words and it would be delayed. Say it's delayed by a second. It's going to be delayed by a second throughout the whole video. It's not going to get the delay won't get exponentially longer, but my delay was getting exponentially longer throughout the video. And I'm like, that's just not how that would work. So I'm like Googling it. I'm asking ChatGPT. So it's such a loaded question. I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. So it's telling me to convert the audio to a different, I think like frames per second, because iMovie will do it. And it was this whole thing that it just like was not doing it properly. So when I was putting the audio file in iMovie, it was not, I guess it was at a different speed. I really don't even remember what it was than the video. And like a different frame per second. I really don't know. So I did all this stuff. I was doing it for like literally like an hour or two. And then I finally was like, chat, like none of this is working. And it goes, just on your MacBook, just like click on the two files, like the audio file and the video file. And then just like click like on my laptop here. Maybe I can figure out what it said to do. It was like, I forget what it said, but it said something like basically like combine audio video or something. So it then created a new version of that, and then it had my audio video from my phone, and then it combined it with this audio that was on my laptop into one file. And when I uploaded that this is what I did. So I muted the original file, right? I muted the original video file. Then I combined the file with my Blue Yeti with the file for my video, and then I combined that, put it into iMovie, then separated it, and then synced the sound like that, and then it was fine. Because it was something about like when it was uploaded into iMovie does something where it like changes the settings of the video to like make it go faster or something. I don't really remember. And so that's why it was getting exponentially longer. So I don't know if that made literally any sense, and I'm sorry for going on this whole rant, but it was just like so stressful when I was doing it. But I ended up getting it to work, and then I literally was like, I cannot do this every time. I mean, it would have been such an easy fix. But so I was like, I need to cut this step down in the process, make this more efficient, more operationally efficient. And so I went and I went to Apple, and then I got the Lightning AV adapter. So basically it's a lightning end that plugs into my phone that has a port for a charger and an HDMI, because the Yeti is powered through whatever it's plugged into, and it takes so much power that it literally, like, your phone just can't really support it in that way. So you need to have a consistent stream of power into your phone for this to not get like glitchy. But anyway, yeah. So that was that. And it was stressful, but I figured it out. But I think during that whole process, I was like, I had it in post, and I was trying to sync my sound. My boyfriend was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know what any of that is. So yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what even sparked that, but I hope you enjoyed my chit chat, no matter how confusing it was. And let me know down below if there's any other things that you want me to talk about. If you have any questions for me or anything like that, or video ideas, please let me know. I'm so open to your opinions on what you want to see. But yeah, all right. I hope you have an amazing night or day, whatever time of day it is. and I hope that your pillow is cold. I hope you find money on the ground tomorrow, and I don't know, I hope everything goes right for you. Anyway, I love you all and have a great day or night, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.